Bella Dinh-Zarr is the vice chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board and good enough to join us from Hoboken. Again, we very much appreciate the time, and I do want to begin asking about the train's black box data recorder. It's been recovered. So what questions do you hope it will help you answer?
Well, thank you, Josh. We hope that the event recorder will have information such as the speed and the braking action. And this is one of two event recorders that are on the train. We're only so far been able to access the one on the locomotive because the other one is in the cab car, which is in the front, and the situation is a little unsafe as far as the canopy resting on the train for us to access that. But we hope to do that later today.
And so I realize the structural integrity of the station itself will obviously impact the investigation. At what point do you feel you will be able to access everything at the crash site to get what you need?
Well, the emergency responders, everyone has been just wonderful for us here on this really sad time for this community. We're hoping that the canopy, or the parts of the canopy that are resting on the train, the front of the train, will be able to be removed by later on this afternoon so that we can access the entire train.
What can you tell us about the role the engineer might have played here, and specifically with regard to the cooperation that he's providing at this point?
We have not yet spoken to the engineer. He was injured, and we're hoping to speak to him later on today now that he's been released from the hospital.
You did mention various braking systems. The backup systems in place, why didn't any of them work to prevent what happened?
So we are still in the beginning stages of this investigation. Since we're unable to access the entire train so far, we'll have to wait to answer those questions. And we will do it very, very carefully. So we'll look at all of those questions and try to see if that had anything to do with it.
In the last 24 hours, the debate over positive train control has really been reignited again. An automatic braking system jumps into action essentially when trains hit speeds that they should not hit. What difference would it have made if the train had had this particular piece of equipment?
So every accident is different, and we treat them as such. So as far as this accident goes, we don't know whether positive train control is a factor. But what we do know is that positive train control is on our most wanted list of transportation priorities, and it does save lives. So we are a strong proponent of PTC, and we hope that all train systems will incorporate it.
With regard to equipment that does save lives, this has also reignited a debate as to seatbelts and if they should not be made mandatory on trains. Obviously, as this train did enter the station, we've all ridden trains that were entering stations before. Most people were standing up in the center aisle, but what's your position and the NTSB's position as it regards seatbelts on trains?
That's part of one of the factors about occupant protection. In a train, it's a little bit different from a car. We look at all of these factors in a train. We also look at the structural the structure of the actual train itself. We look at the structure of the windows, whether they're able to stay in place and keep people from being ejected. So seatbelts is definitely one factor that we look at, and our job is to look at each investigation separately. So we'll look at this and see what occupant protection, what survivability has to do with this.
All right. Bella Dinh-Zarr of the NTSB, we very much appreciate the time today.
Thank you.